Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Doc here from North America. Another fun-filled day. We're seeing how the currencies are showing more strength here. They're settling them up. I guess that's the only way to look at it, is that they're trying to settle them up. They have to. In other words, what I mean by settle up. End of the year is coming, and they've got to do. I guess they have to cover certain stuff. I guess that's how it is. In other words, there's been a lot of profits probably made on the short side, a lot of pairs trades, since the dollar's been strong throughout the year. So what they do is try to take some profits at the end of the year to subtract from the losses, that type of thing, so that they don't pay any taxes. Unfortunately, that conversation always falls on that shoulder of taxes. Some people, I don't want to talk about politics. No, that's the way the markets function. You have to pay taxes. Elon Musk had to sell, 10 or 11 billion dollars worth of stock so he could pay taxes. That's how this whole system works. Taxation really hurts growth. That's what it really does in the end when you think about it. In other words, let's say you want to be long cable, or you want to be short cable, or any of these other pairs trades, but you have to change your position just because of the gains that you had and the good trading that you had done, and you have to stop it solely because to pay taxes. That's right. Yeah, so taxation is not a good thing, and it's always funny how people think that it is, like you're somehow or another helping society out. And we see all the statistics showing that society has only gone down, not up, due to taxation. But you're not going to hear that much from the mainstream media and anywhere else. They're going to tell you how the government can help you, that type of thing. So anyway, let's take a look at the Swiss this morning. Let's see what we got going on in the Swiss. As you can see, right, where are we on the Swiss? Let's check out the fact check spreadsheet to start off with. There it is right there, line 21. We're 1 day in a sell. We're 5 weeks in a buy. It looks like it's going to get cleaned off today. Today is the day. It looks like it's basically going to say, no mas. No more. We're going to switch directions. So you can see here we have broken down. We've been banging against that top end of the range for weeks now, and see, we're in a daily sell from there. A little stronger this morning, I guess you could say. The math is trying to turn up. Where are we at on that? Let's see what it looks like. Wrong key. Wrong mousey. Come here, mousey. And so you can see there we are minus 0.00010. Now we're right on the edge there, but it's still in the minus. Red dots, and you go over to J4X. You see the same exact things. You see the hinky. Whoops, excuse me. You can see the red hinky bars. You can see the white line is underneath. It has not climbed up in a while. It's been, wow, that got through either way, didn't it? Kristen, hello. Hello. I like that. Hello. Are you in this? That's right. You're on the Pacific, so yes, that's right. You would be saying something like hello, and that's right. You're in Chile, so which is summertime. You're in the middle of your summer at this point. I know. I like eating. I'm in peach and blueberry country, and we're now becoming lots of vineyards. And we're even opening up a vineyard of our own. And at the same time, I love eating the peaches and the blueberries, all from Chile this time of the year. They have a good flavor to them. So yeah, I can relate. Indeed. Maybe you're a peach farmer. That would be great. I've had peach trees. And we belong to the Farm Bureau and the whole bit. All right, so you can see here the dollar is going down, because when we measure the Swiss against the dollar, that's a really good indication of how the dollar is really flowing. And I guess, let's see, how's it look? It looks like it will go into that weekly sell. We can probably throw the line up there now, because I doubt we're going to see any type of bounce, especially with today. So throw that in there like that, go like that, and it's going to be basically confirming the weekly sell after 5 weeks of nowhere. goes up, goes down, goes up. You know, pretty much started here, and it's been stuck there basically. Has no real strength into it at the moment. So at this point in time, we'll just figure that that's what we're going to do, and then we got what's today? So the U.S. markets are closed tomorrow. If Dukascopy is open, I will do a webinar. I'll be glad to do a webinar. So if anybody schedules me, it's fine, and I will contact them and mention it, and we can interpret what we've seen and take a look at the year to how it's played out, and how the math, you know, kept us ahead of the curve constantly. And I don't think we've had more than one or two bad signals out of you know, hundreds of them. So it's been very good. Let's see, maybe 3 or 4 bad signals out of 100. And when it comes to the whole game, it's been very impressive for the year, for a crazy year, just a crazy year. All right, from there we drift over to, unless someone wants to see anything, we're going to drift over to the euro, see what the euro's doing. The euro has moved through its weekly buy number, which is really neat. Let's see if it holds it by the end of the day. I imagine it will. You see that right there, just that little teeny thing going on after, what is it, 12 weeks? Let's check out fact check. And fact check, yep, right there, I can see it there. So right there, you can see 12 weeks in a sell, 1 day in a buy right now. And when we accentuate the chart, whoa, I didn't mean to do that. No, not that big either. Let's see, there we go. And when you look at the chart, we move it over, or tighten it up. We've been in the sell since right here, in this area right there. And it's been a slow, steady burn, I guess you could say. It kind of reminds me of like a rowboat, kind of leaky, you know. The truth, oh, the fruits of the season are really delicious. Yeah, we get them here, up here. We get, you know, your peaches. We get your blueberries. I think we probably get your strawberries. They'll start to really kick out in the next week or two, I guess. Yeah, we'll start seeing the peaches next week, or let's say 3 weeks from now. You're probably already getting them. They're probably hitting the packing houses down in your country. They have a good flavor to them. You know, we've had some farmers sell their land off around here when they got fed up with government, and they moved into South America. They're farming down there now. So it wouldn't be surprising if you have some American farmers actually farming there, and that's probably a third of the reason why it tastes, the flavors are a lot alike now, especially here in South Jersey. We're one of the top peach producing states in the country, so you know, we're very skilled at it for 100 plus years, or a couple 100 plus years. All right, from there we take a look at the cable. Now cable, we thought this is the look that we were going to see. Last week we really thought the cable would look this way, and we weren't really that impressed with euro. The math, obviously you've got to trust the math always. That's about the best way to go, because the math is usually more accurate than anything else. And then this week it just turned up. I mean, it just started to move. And so it really does have that look like it is going to be going in after 12 full weeks in a weekly sell. It looks like, you know, for 3 days now it's been in the buy. And it doesn't seem like it wants to give up on that either. So we're figured that's how that'll play out. Over on J4X you can see the same situation. You got these greens, like we have our greens here. You see the line has passed through this dashed line, just like our white line has broken the zero line here. So that's the action we're seeing when it comes to the euro itself. Now from there, we slip slide our way over to, right there, British pound. Now the British pound is not as strong as I was expecting, and even yesterday I did say, you know, about, let's put it over here too. You can see it on J4X. A couple greens, broken through the line, lots of strength, it's pushing hard. Look at it, it's taking out highs. All these highs are being taken out from this action. And then let's do it over here, right there. and we are just on that edge. And remember yesterday I said, oh, if we get these histogram bars up past this one, we'll probably get into a buy. Well, look at that. It's still dragging its feet, but it's very, very close at this point. Very close. At this point, it's minus 0.00039. And it's really close. And we'll see how they push on that throughout the day, and see if we're going to get into a weekly buy on the close of this week. And that would be very interesting to see. And so the cable, in the end result, is all, as we used as the headline yesterday, the title of yesterday's webinar was, all the pairs are strong against the dollar. And that's, you can see that. They're all doing that, lift and move and do its thing. They're really trying to get rolling along. Yeah, pairs strong against dollar. That was the title for yesterday's action. And it's still following through. You could we're probably going to be thinking that it could be literally an end of the year thing. Where the dollar is weak. Because it's got so much profits in it, and with all the taxation going on, you got to take a profit so you can pay your taxes. And at the same time offset gains. People think you just go and trade. It's more than just go and trade. You got to do all kinds of dances. You got to do all kinds of tricks to make sure that you're taking the benefit of all the taxation law that there is. That those days of the 3 martini lunch is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about offsetting losses with gains, selling options out of the money versus at the money. They even tax them differently. What a horrible thought. The tax, the engine of ingenuity, they love taxing it. You would think they could find other things to tax, like beer and alcohol and cigarettes. Can't they just tax things that is just a vice? Do they have to tax what actually makes our society go up and down successfully? Pays the bills, keeps the roof, invents new ideas and invent new inventions that are new ideas. We've seen where the moment that they put an income tax on the public here in the States in 1913, by 1915, you could see the patents drop. The slope of the patents all started to diminish. It started to drop in its ascension, and the growth of the country diminished. I saw this one physicist. He had written I can't find it. He wrote a great paper on the idea that if there hadn't been taxes, that we would be visiting all our planets at this point in time in the solar system. Our technology would be that far advanced that we would have the ability to do that. But because of taxation, it slowed us down where we can't do that. And it didn't solve poverty. Remember, that was the answer to all of it. The idea was poverty, poverty, charity, poverty. They had to erase charity and try to, to decrease poverty. Crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, anyhow, we did read, I want to tell you this, we did read what they came up with in Turkey. And you can see we've also, on our fact check spreadsheet, you can see there's the dollar against the Turkish Lira. It's pushing it finally into a sell. And because of that action, we've taken on our spreadsheet, where's it at now? Right there. On line 17, instead of it being the the dollar against Turkish Lira now, we are now following Lira, the euro against the Turkish Lira. That's the better of the two pairs. It's without a doubt. It's obviously location, location, location. One of the odd things we did notice is that our little dotted line was the central bank and the president of Turkey. They had drawn that as their de Maginot line. That was we are going to execute a new strategy if it gets up to the 18. We talked about that 18 for a while, and we talked about it, we've talked about the 24 in the euro. Somehow or another, they were following the dollar more than they were following the euro, but I think the euro is much more accurate. So, and the strategy now, what we've learned, this is, as you can see here, they're going to sell finally against the dollar. Check out the euro against the Turkish lira. It's been in the sell for, was that 3 days already? This is the fourth day. So the euro Turkish lira is truly the more accurate tool to watch. And we've said that for a long while now. We've been watching that factor. And you can see neither of them are going into a weekly now. See that there in the euro against the Turkish lira. We're figuring that it may stall out in this range. And we do have an explanation now, a simple explanation, on how to understand what had happened on Sunday. It's still playing out to some extent, but obviously the good thing for the Turkish population is the fact that that it worked, for the time being. What they've done now is they have changed. What they did Sunday night was they changed. They created They created a fund that will compensate for investors in the Turkish lira to be compensated for the difference that they lose. And who's paying for that? They're putting it on the budget of the country itself now. So before, at least it was a floating currency. It was, the country was, its balance sheet was basically just, the basics, of a country's debt, But now, President Aragon, and supposedly this was figured out in 2018, and that's why the son-in-law was removed. I believe he chose not to do it, and at the time the head of the central bank before him was against it also, and so now they implement it. This is they call this the last stop gap measure, and so now what's happening is that the country itself, like you have taxation for cigarettes, and you have taxation for tea, and taxation for food and so forth. Now you're going to have a taxation for paying the loss of investors in Turkish lira. So in other words, they basically have raised taxes to pay to protect investors in the Turkish lira. We're not too confident that's going to work, of course, but that's what they did. And so that's how that's going to roll, and that'll be very interesting. The rules, they're still trying to figure out exactly what the rules are. Trading desks are a little confused, like Goldman Sachs and so forth. They can't tell if it's the private investor, or if it's the institutions, or if it's the banks. They're not sure who's going to get the sweetener there. In other words, I guess the Central Bank of Turkey will go, okay, you've been holding Turkish lira for 6 months and you lost 5%. So we're going to give you that 5%. And that's how that's going to work. So, and there's some little tricks here and there on short-term money and so forth. But overall, what it really comes down to in the simplest way of describing it is, just as you have taxes for many different things in your country, now there's going to be a tax to pay for losers invested in the Turkish lira. So we'll see how that plays out. I think they have an old expression, something about taking money from Peter to pay Paul, or taking money from one pocket and putting it in another. That's all I can see out of it, but we'll see how that plays out. It can't be right all the time, I guess. We'll see. All right, over on, so there's the Turkish lira, and like I said, we've moved it onto the spreadsheet and gotten rid of the dollar Turkish lira on the spreadsheet. So we'll just see them in the charts again, as usual. All right, from there we go over to the Canadian, and as you can see, the Canadian played with the top end of the range again. We talked about that at the beginning of the end of last week. At the beginning of this week, we talked about how maybe it'll just hit it and try to fall down. And obviously, it's where is it on the spreadsheet? Line 20. You can see right there. 1 day in a sell, 6 weeks in a buy, and it's still holding up pretty well there. Let's throw over on J4X and see how she looks from there. Right. How could I miss it? There it is right there. It's at the top. Okay, there it is. You can see it's trying to, it's going. When it's got two red dots. You can see on J4X, it's got two red hinky bars, hinky ashy bars. You can see the white line has pierced the dashed yellow line. We are below ours for the last day. Now we're on the second day. Now the weekly is kind of firm, so we're just going to sit and watch that and see if this is just a little bit more noise and they're going to bang on the top a little bit, or if there's some desire, or I don't know. I think I want to say this: when we look at the Canadian, we think of that the gold must be up and oil must be firm, that type of thing. So let's see what they're doing with those two products. See how they're holding up today. Let's see. Let me just do this first. We'll go like that. And there's crude oil. We'll throw that up on the J4X real quick here. Right there, there's crude. And you can see right there, that's crude on our work. It's still firm. It's trying to lift. That's interesting. It's really cool. The back month is a plus. It's through the weekly buy. At least at last I looked, it was very close to it or through it. But you can see here a couple days in a buy on the daily chart. And the weekly is coming up and smashing on the negative time manifold. So that's a bullish sign right there also. And then looking at it here, you see the same thing going on. 3 days green hinkies, white line piercing dash. Now let's take a look at gold. Gold. And there is the gold right there. You see gold is just firm, up for the day. It was flirting with the zero line. It looks like it's piercing it a little bit right there. When we sent this stuff out this morning, it wasn't piercing it. You can see the weekly is holding up, so that's pretty cool. Let's see now, I guess what this may be insinuating more than anything else is that there must have been a lot of shorts in the metals complex. We've seen articles about that there are, especially the funds, because they're following the Fed's tradition or normality or pattern. I guess they're following the Fed's pattern of smashing the metals. So the strength is probably more of just covering shorts and in other words, taking profits. Because there's a lot of profits out there. All right. From there, we're going to go over to the South African Rand. We would assume that the South African Rand is heading down a little bit. See how it looks. Yeah, it's kind of like flattish to down. Lots of red dots though. Let's put it up on J4X also. Right there. And right there. You see lots of red dots. Unfortunately, this thing seems to be trying to bounce up, which is curious in its own right. It's very close to, it's plus. No, it's not. It's just minus by the hair of its chinny chin. Just minus all the way around. So that's what's going on there. At the same time, the weekly is trying to come down. That's like an indication of possibly more strength in the gold complex, which would be really nice. I mean, they've really beaten the daylights out of these gold investors. Gold and silver are down for the year. It's awful hard to believe that we have 6% inflation and gold and silver can't even close unchanged for the year. As we take a sip of our tea. Now, from there we'll go over to, where do we go over to? Let's go to, no, not there. Let's go to the ruble. Ruble had a nice little push down. It went into a sell yesterday. That's on line, where's that at? That's on line 18. You see there, it's in a sell and it's in a weekly buy. And our weekly, as you can see, is trying to get into the sell side. And you can see here on the J4X, right there, the ruble is trying to press down. You got a red hinky. Oh, where's that? There's, you got 3 days of red hinky. And the white line is piercing right there. So pressure is on. Again, let's see, what did the ruble do this year? Let me think about that. Because it almost seems to be that the pattern is representing winners are losing and our gainers are losing. I think that's the best way to describe it too. The gainers the gainers for the year are losing. I think that's the best way to describe it. And you could also do the flip side of that, and the losers of the year are gaining. That's how that's working out. It's funny, you know. It always is funny, you know. It always cracks me up sometimes to see the simplicity of it all. They have this one index. It's called Dogs of the Dow. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, the 30 stocks. They've been following that since I don't know, since Lou Rukeyser on Wall Street Week, since I guess the early '80s maybe. They called them the Dogs of the Dow. In other words, if a Dow stock was a loser one year, you bought it because it would be a gainer the following year. You know, these were at the times when the Dow was the number one index of the New York Stock Exchange. It was the main index of the planet, basically. But there you go. You can see the ruble heading down, and you know, just for interest's sake, I want to see where it was in December of this year, or last year, I should say, right there. So ruble was at 74 in January, the beginning of the year, and right now it's trading at 73. So it's that's been pretty much unchanged for the year, no matter how it's twisted and turned. All right. Now, let's see, where do we go to from here? We take a look at the yen, right there, right below it. The yen has been lifting up for a couple days here. You can see that. And the weekly looks like it's going to jump into the weekly buy. But not much of a problem. Unless there's some type of wild news this afternoon that freaks it out. Looks like it's going to be a weekly buy going into next week. And I wonder, let's for interest's sake, again, take a look and see where it was in January. So it was trading at 103, and it has run to like 114.15. And so let's see, there's a lot of gain in that thing. Oh no, I guess it's a loss. There's a lot of loss in it against the dollar. You would think that, you see this action right here? You would have thought that that's what that was all about, profit taking. But I guess they don't really function the same way. Maybe their tax laws are different. I don't know. It's a good question mark, though. Let's see how it looks on J4X. Right, where are you? Right there. And so there's the action. Same thing with the greens right there. You see the greens right here. You see the white line through with no problem the last couple of days. Same thing here. The white line is through the last couple of days. And now we are flirting with the weekly. Let's see what it looks like on a weekly. It's loading up. There you go. It's trying to pierce up too, just like what we're doing right here. Same type of action. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. From there, we go to our last product of the pairs that we run through every day. And trust me, traders, you can interrupt it at any time, and we can go look at anything you would like to see. Because I don't have to do these pairs at a breakneck speed, you know. Okay, here's the Mexican peso. It's really flattened out. You can see here. Now, where was that? I think it started in the 122s at the beginning of the year. The 121s? No, it was underneath. That's what it was. It was down in 19s. That's right. It was playing the 19 range. It was playing this range for a while. And then finally started to get above it and break and support the range again. It was a nice tight range for a long while, for months upon months. And then we started realizing, wow, this thing's really starting to take off, and maybe it's going to go take, we put the first circle in here just to emphasize the top of the range, and it stalled. And then we did it again when we saw support off of the, we went into a weekly buy like this one here, right here. Let's see if we do this. Right here. So when we saw that, we did these circles. We thought, oh, okay, we'll put a circle in to emphasize the strength because it was such a tight range. And then we put the circle in with the weekly buy as usual, and it just kept on climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing, and so we just made this giant oval out of it. I'm not sure if it makes a lot of sense, but it was fun watching the range. You can see it fell back into the range again, and then turned around and made a whole new range for the last 14 months or 15 months, something like that. And let's just take a look at it over here on J4X. Right there. And there's the daily. And you see the weekly on our work really tight right there. Right there, very tight on the edge of going into a sell. And this looks this looks very much, how about that, let's go like that. This looks like a lot like this. That same action right there. That's why we developed this system on the J4X for traders to be able to have a better feel and direction of the products. Now let's take a look at it on a weekly basis, see if it's busting down hard. Yeah, look at that. It's smashing down at the bottom end of the range already. We'll see how they take that over the next, we'll have to pay attention to that on the webinars, just to see how the weekly and the daily is doing on J4X there on the Mexican peso. And we might, like I said, we might slide right into the weekly sell this week. You see that right there. The number is 0.0028. It's very tight. All right, from there we go back over to the metals and the energies. Take a look at that. The metals and the energies. And let's see, let's put up, let's go from there, we'll go to silver right now. Let's do silver. Right there. And let's do it right there. And you can see gold, firm. And there's silver, firm. So these products are, like I said, it seems like the week, was it, how did I express it? I thought it was a really good title. The week are gaining, the week, the week, what, the yearly week, I guess, I'll figure out, say it right, but it's like the weak are gaining and the strong are selling. You can go like this. So weak products are being bought. Yeah, that's it. Weak products are being bought. Weak products are bought. Yeah, let's do that. Or buy? Or something like that. We'll have to figure that out. I like that title. That's exactly what seems to be happening right now. All right, so you can see here the March silver just hanging loose, just on the edge, moving up softly, still not piercing the weekly buy, not at all. Let's take a look at it. I bet it's looking pretty good on J4X. Let's see what it looks like there on a weekly basis. Oh, that is the weekly basis. It's trying to lift up. Okay, let's see what the daily looks like then. Yeah, see, it's been lifting up just like ours. Doing the same thing with the same zigzag right there. Get that zigzag right there. So that's pretty cool. All right, from there, we go to copper. Let's do copper. There's copper. And there it is right there. A little weakness today. We're trying to push into the sell now. It's curving over here. We're breaking our line right there, which is a little surprising. Let's do it this way. And you see that pressure on it right there. Let's see what it looks like on a weekly basis. We've been in a weekly sell in this thing for a while. Yeah. Yep. Okay, yeah. So that's trying to lift up, which is, ours is curved. You can see there. Ours is curved right there, but it's not getting through the line yet. Not even getting through the time manifold. Whereas here you can see it's already trying to lift through it, which is interesting. So we'll keep an eye on that one too. That's another weekly we should pay attention to. See if the J4X is ahead of our curve at the moment. It'll be very interesting to see how that plays out. And then both are in daily buys. Right there and right there. All right. From there, we go over and take a quick look at the platinum, which is almost like sleepwalking. The zombie of metals. Oh, look at that! They popped it yesterday. And when I was complaining for what, 4 or 5 days. It was stuck. But the weekly is not turning up. And this is now. I think this started off the year like in the 1,000 area, maybe $1,100 area. It could be $1,100. So yeah, it was $1,100 area. So basically, it's like, wow, you know, and it got up into the 12s, maybe something like that, and you know, it's down at the 9s. So that's that week. You know, I guess you could say the sold being bought, and the strong being sold. And that seems to be the whole recipe of this thing right now. And that's the end of the year taxation. Thank you, Uncle Sam. Oh, middle age, what's happening? March and May corn at your leisure. Why, of course. You know, boy, I'll tell you, the grains have been very, very happy. Very, very happy. Let's throw the soybean up on J4X right there. There's the soybean. What is that? Oh, I know. I'm trying to open that up. That's what it is. There we are, like so. And like so. Look at the soybean, the way it's just ripped. All those commodities are just lifting up strong. Oh my goodness gracious. And have you noticed the mead? You had a mead position on too, right? I meant to ask you about that. You still have the mead on, or did you take your profits on that? Does it jump through the $4 area? I think it did. Let's take a look at the mead also. That's a soybean mead. You see the soybean on J4X there. You can see the strength in it right there. Now let's go over to, was it March corn? March corn is right there, right up there. It's kind of sideways firm, but over $6. Hooray, hey? You were looking for more in the 6. Here is the May. Oh, may I. Right there, there's May corn. Same thing, holding up very strong. Both in weekly buys with no problem. And then check out mead. Where's the mead at? There's right there. January mead, the soybean meal. Over $4. Been in that weekly buy now since back here in the 320 area. It's had some really interesting. Where was the first sell? There was your first sell after buy. There was your first buy, right? And it covered all the way. It went all the way up to here for the sell. What a long trend that was. Then it went into the sell just for this action. Then it went into the buy again here. And did it go into a sell? I think it went into the sell there. Let's fix that. So then it went into the sell right there. And then it jumped right back into the buy again. Again. Right there. For this last move. It's not like the last move, but just this move that just started. So then it went back into the buy at 380 and took it up into the over to $4. Good, smart move. Yeah, well, that's why I always say, you know how Dukascopy does the binaries. You gotta find a broker that will let you turn a long call into a bull spread, you know, or what they refer to on Dukascopy as a binary. This way, you would catch more of the move, you know, with less risk, you know, just the same way like we talked about with the gold. Speaking of which, where is the gold? is gold up to 15 yet? Let's see. We're just going to take a quick look at gold, just to see if I didn't even pay attention to how firm it was today, just that it was up. Yeah, so the high today is, oh, the high is 9 now. So yeah, it doesn't hurt. And then you put a stop in. Put a stop in to cover the one call if it goes back down to a certain price, so you don't lose any money on it. And you got all the other profits there. Okay, so what else were we at? Oh yeah, so that was the grains. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump over to energies. Unless you see something you would like to talk about, we're going to go take a look at the energies. Let's check out the energies. So we saw this is the February crude, and look at it. It's stuck in that weekly sell now for a while, right? Since back up in here in the 80s. And it's trying to turn up, and the buys have been really good, Where's the buy? Oh, okay, that doesn't belong there, does it? I'm not sure why it was there. So it just, it's just been holding up in a buy since this area here. And it did this ziggy zag, went into a sell here, went down for a day or two, back into the buy, and up it goes. Now, what's this? Apple News. I don't know why they send me Apple News. I hate seeing Apple News. So now we'll take a look at the back month. That's what I was saying to you is that we have a client that's following June, so we have it up. We have a chart on it. I mean, it's not like I can't look it up. It's just that how many things can you stare at, And so here's the June contract. Check this out. Look at that. The weekly is piercing. It's daily buy just like the front month, but the weekly is actually lifting up. It's trying to get rolling. Yeah, so that's kind of interesting to watch this back month strength start to evolve. Now, you would think the front month. I don't know. I think we were in the 30s or 40s at the beginning of the year. Let me see where we're in the 50s or 60s. Let's see where we're at. So oil was, where's it at? Right there. Okay, so we started off with oil in the 40s, 45 basically. Okay, and it ran to 85, so it almost doubled. And notice like the yen, they did that crazy little slam, and then it's kind of been hesitant ever since. So I guess they tried to take some profits out of it at that point, and then we see it turn around, and do its thing. So that is pretty much the action we're seeing there now. Let's just put the from the crude, we're going to go to nat gas. Now they hit those poor people in Britain and everywhere else. They got their heads handed to them. Here's natural gas. Now our nat gas is cruising along at a very low rate. We're even with Mr. Biden messing with the pipelines and all that other stuff, we're still doing all right here. I mean, it's doubled, of course, but we're talking about going from like $2 to like $4. That's all we're talking about. Or I guess no, it went further than that. It went to $6, right? So here, crude natural gas was trading in the 320s. We went to like 650. Okay, that's not too bad. And then now we are back down into these. We're up for the year, but not by much. 380 versus 320. Now, let's take a look at. Let's go to Europe, where it has exploded to the moon. I mean, it has gone through the roof. Yesterday, I believe it broke all-time highs again. It's trading around $38. 38, yes, and we're at $3.80. It's 10 times more in Europe for natural gas than it is in the United States. 10 times, not 2, not 3. It's got that Turkish Lira thing going on, where one moment it's at 4, then it's at 8, then the next thing you know it's at 16, then 32, and we don't need 64, that's for sure. But that's what natural gas is doing. You can see that on J4X there. The heights of it all. There are all-time highs. They're showing on the Hinkies that there was some pressure there over the last. What's that? That's a weekly. That's daily. Yeah, that's just a month. Yeah. So when they jacked it last time, they've jacked it again, and then went to all-time highs from there. So we're seeing all-time highs in the natural gas in Europe and in England, and I mean, we're talking like 10 times it expanded, 10 times, tenfold compared to us just going once from $3.20 to $6.40. They've gone from 320 in euros to, or let's put it this way, they've gone from 360 in euro a cubic whatever to $36. Yes, 36 euros. I'm sorry, not dollars. 36 euros. It's an explosion, just an explosion. All right, from there, what do we do from there? From there, that's the natural gas. Let's take a look at, and you can see here that we've been in a weekly sell since the $6 area, I think it was. That's what it was. Yeah, the $6 area. We've been in a weekly sell, and it's gone down to 380, and we're just hanging around down in the sell side of this all. And let's see what else we got going on there. So it's been a punishment, especially in the cold weather coming in. That's been really harsh, really, really harsh. Okay, the next one we take a look at is the quick little heating oil that people have at the homes. That they put in tanks and burn the furnaces and the whole bit. You can see it's firm. It's going up. We're a little cold weather here. Still not taking out any highs or anything like that. Not like poor Europe. And you can see it is flirting with a weekly buy at the moment too, right there. Not there yet, but it's trying. It is trying. So that is the energy complex. AUD USD. Yeah, I think it's in a daily buy for 2 days. Let's take a look at it on the fact check. No, it's 1 day. So it's 5 weeks in a sell, 1 day in a buy. The Aussie. Let's do it like that. There you go. We'll see it totally highlighted. And up on Chicago Quant, it looks like it's flirting with the daily buy last I saw. We'll find it in a second. Here it is. Right there. Yeah. It's on the edge of trying to get into a buy right here. You can see the super has already climbed, is already trying to top out already. But we'll see what they do there. Now let's take a look at it through J4X. Right there it is. And there's the daily on J4X doing the same thing. The lift. Actually, see, where is it? Oh, you can't see it yet. Why can you not see it? Because I didn't push that button. There it is right there. So you can see here, it's in a daily buy for a second day. I think it's flirted in and out of it a few times. It does have that interestingly upward slope you're seeing right here, right there. It does have that interesting thing going on. And you can see the low that was set there. And over on the J4X doing the same exact thing. It's had that upwardly slope. It's lifted through. Let's see what the weekly looks like on this too. So, I guess, let's see, where did the Aussie for the year start off? Oh yeah, much higher, right? 76, 77. The top end of the range was 80. That's right. We had this also Fibonacci. We've talked about this before. We Fibonacci'd that range also. And it was flirting with the 50 percentile. See the green line bounced off the bottom end of the range right there. See, we don't have too many people ask about the Aussie anymore, so we don't even realize what's going on with it. But let's just show you the year. We had the range figured out, and you can see right here it goes up and hits the top end of the range, right there, and then you can see it goes down to almost the 50 percentile right there. That's what the green line is. And you can see the weekly is also turning on J4X there. Then it kind of hovers around and goofs off, and then you can see it marries the green 50 percentile for a while, for almost a month. Then it breaks down and gets through the 618, and then it gets down through the 0.7 7.6, and then you can see it drifts its way, I guess bouncing, oscillating back and forth a little bit with that. Goes back up to the 50 percentile in November, and then it pukes. That long drive down to the area there. Now, this is lifting up again, just like all the others. Because why? Because it's been making a lot of money since the beginning of the year from the 80 area, so it's got down to the 70 area. So now it's trying to take those profits so that they can offset it with losses, that type of thing. And so that's how that whole story plays out. Let's see, what else we got to say about any of that? Not much more. Does that help out? Did we give you a good idea of what's going on there? I hope so. All right. Let's see, what else middle age we got going on here? So that is that. We've done the energies, we've done the metals, stock indices. Let's take a look at the stock indices. I would say that to a certain extent that's what we've been seeing there too. The selling that was going on was emphasis of, let's see, were we, oh no, I guess we were up, let's see, they I don't see. Let's go to a stock index and take a look and see. Let's do the, let's start off with, let's do the NQ right here. We'll put it up on J4X too at the same time. That's the Tech 100. Right there. Now this product has started off the year. Let's start off the year. Started off the year in the 1300 area, so it has a big gain in it. So you would assume that they'd be selling it down, but the last couple of days, instead of it going down, it's going up. They're bottom fishing on that. Cool, middle age, no problem. So I would think maybe they roll it over. I don't know. They're talking about the Santa Claus ho-ho rally. They don't think it has a lot of strength in it, because but it still has, what, 4 days? The official Santa Claus rally is usually the last 5 days of the year and the first 2 days of the year, of the new year. So do we see them take it out, new all-time highs over the next 5-6 days? I don't know. Since they're at they started off at 13,000 on this product, you would think they would top out and stay down. That's the way I would see it. Now let's take a look at the S&P 500. We'll do the same thing on J4X. Right there. And it too, now it took out an all-time high no more than like a week ago. Right there, took out that one. And this product started in the 4s maybe? 4,500? Something like that. I'm sorry, 4,000 maybe. That's what it's 4,000? Not even, it was lower. It was at the 37,000 area, 3,700, I'm sorry, 3,700 area. And it climbed to the 46, almost 1,000 points for the year. So you can see they've been trying to sell it, but they keep on bouncing up to new all-time highs every time they sell it down. They don't seem to be able to hold this product down that much. It's just not able to stay down. There's just so. The one thing I can say over and over and over again is that there's a ton of money sitting on the sidelines, getting ready to wants to participate on every weakness. So. And then the grand poobah of them all, the Dow Jones Industrial Average. Let's take a look at that. And so that started the year off at 32. I think it was 32. Let's see. So we went from 32 to 36,000. We went up over 4,000 points. Let's see it over on the J4X. There. And let's scroll over just to get a flavor of it from where it started. There's September. And there's April. Yeah, so it was in January at the ho-ho rally, I guess you could call it. There's December. Is that December? Yeah. So it started off in the the 30,000 area, 31,000 area, and it has gone to 36,000 and change. So it's gone up 6,000 points. So we would assume that they would try to take some profits out of it. And you can see when they take profits, the buyers come roaring in. And I wouldn't be surprised if there is no ho-ho rally because of that. In other words, they'll sell it down again, take profits, and the next thing you know, the buyers will come roaring in again. If there was no podcast tomorrow, I wish you very much Christmas. Merry Christmas. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you. I will do the podcast if there is one. So take a quick look and see. And I will, because, you know, there's always something to talk about when it comes to the markets, and we can analyze how it finished off the Christmas week, the whole bit. You know, we'll be able to take a look at that and go from there. So it'll be a quiet day tomorrow without a doubt. The United States is actually closed. So we'll see what they do with that stuff right there. All right, traders. I guess we'll start call it a day. So if anybody has any other questions, fire them out. We'll take a quick look at some products, and if not, then we will catch you all tomorrow or Monday. And if not Monday, Tuesday. Whenever Dukascopy has me scheduled, I'm here. And that is the way it rolls. All right, then. I will start to sing if nobody wants to see anything particular. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in an open sleigh. Merry Christmas to everybody. Catch you all later. Maybe tomorrow even. We'll find out.